Happy birthday, Mr. David Asante Appiah, to former IGP. This is from Kokrokoo. Time August is Momo month. It's back, it's bigger, it's better and more exciting. From now to the end of September, you can win up to 10,000 cedis cash just by paying with your Momo QR code and merchant ID when you shop. So just shop, pay with Momo, up to pay for your goods and services with the merchant ID via star 170 hash or QR code using my MTN app. Accumulate your reward points. You can be one of 4,000 winners from now to the end of September. And remember, only the official MTN number And to you, Benedicta Poku from the Bronx, Baningana. Hope you enjoyed it. After the box album with Tracy Yankwe.
What you for?
Last one. Jimmy, here's your song.
Bishane Sakamadan Shemeso. Get us a messy chances. Try to swear and shame home.
Kenna GKT Sam, good morning.
Ready.
Hey, Pammy.
Ampa.
I mean, some me don't know.
Pepe.
So I quite be a beshay and tell me, say, I chill it. What do you mean, Gado? What does I come out? The others I come on your meaning.
Michael Jojoji, I knew you show up.
Oh, God.
Who was Sika say?
Sika just and wait, giant cry and tea. What's I buy any show?
Friday morning, turning your radio upside down. Only Kokrokoo can do this. Mr. Franklin Soa of the Graphic Communications Group, I greet you. And on behalf of your boys, it says happy birthday to our darling wife, Mrs. Barbara Lynn Soa. Much love to you, Barbara Lynn Soa. It's from Franklin, Joy, and Zoe. Pure love they sent to you. Sayaba Yenishi Bayabemu Muda Yentija Suda
na papa no wabo ese na papa no wabo ese na papa no wabo
wabo papa why you head you cry no wabo dem do wo why you head papa wabo chom no wabo wo no wabo
oro for yata
hello
what him say na mu police bet me abecho
police kwame
papa
police me yo police then I where the police ho
papa
yes see police me na say me catch you say e kra no mfimfim wo wa say den kra gina mo ensuru no na me dey na me so wi ase police me say ka ka bi na kra na ka me go fu na e be me Now the police in my family, national and Tibesi Kurumka. And within 15 minutes, you can have insurance, a jabetum, 15 minutes. Opa, police no omra. Tell me what happened. I am calling my organizers. 15 minutes. One my family go police station. One day I should you receive them. Yes. God, you're not small boys out. You're not small boys out. I crowd on film go wa. You don't know I one. Means who take.
Now we are being chased with stones. They are approaching us. The police are also moving away from the danger zone. Quite surprising. They are unable to calm situations. Total chaos at Old Fadama. Even residents here are also running. It's getting serious by the minute. This is very bad. Police vehicles are being attacked. Police officers are being attacked. Citizens are being attacked. And we, the media, are also under attack. We are now running for our dear lives. Oh my word. This can't be happening at 21st century. Director of Public Relations at the Ghana Police Service is here to talk to us. We are running for our lives, aren't we?
No.
We are running for our lives.
No, we are not running for our lives.
But we are running for our lives. They are pelting us with stones. And you are running as well.
I'm not running. I'm going to my car.
Yeah, but at least you are escaping from danger.
I'm not escaping from danger.
The situation is out of control, wouldn't you agree?
The police are in charge.
I'm in charge of it, but clearly we are all running for our lives.
We are in charge.
But we are all running for our lives. How can you be in charge? But we are running for our lives.
I mean, you as a civilian have to run for your life.
To pretend that Safe Asata running for his life. He just joined a police vehicle and he's gone. Now we journalists and some civilians here are running for our dear lives.
The police station baby na idea megbusa DC ne MPC idea police station na bakroma no ye be chi nipa bi amamrantie bi abomu dom pepse police for be miensa na ye wa no ma chi nipa to police station enti police for no ko ho ana amrantie no kwa akoyi police ni no anam ko yi omo suspect dem no na agi police for them ana em say enra kra enra BBC wo race course aye krofo akọ a mo de mo pe fans ase wo sisi dan police focus stop mo no ma start to ebo police no ye na ebo mo ban police no ye na ebo property ho ban na say ye ti bi mo ye ho ban a na efa so ba na wo yeso obi aba wa dwene say police station ya chi di pa ho o de ope police station wa ko yi di pa no a me fa wo say be di Kumasi police na ba be gu kroma ya ye 1-to-1 boot to boot who say mo na mo so aye mo asoma ma ye ne ma ye mfa nye adwuma ye ma na ye be yusu na no make us na make man ka ase for nko make am obia o te ga na say emre na crofo take police station no e te say twam police force a mo be ye adwuma wa ha no e te say mo ye adwuma no ma animonyam ba police adwuma mu enye say krokitu yi mo be jeje bribe mo ba ha now the police be jeje bribe heart o police ni ba ha o che o ba jeje the crofo guys mo ni be bro so enti se police ni so ye obi abone a o ma ya so nti na obi afa emra no e hyenisem
Peace FM 104.3 good to me take
Peace 104.3 Deputy Health Minister and Miami MP Dr. Bernard Okokboy ewaha anope emrahye bedwini ema lejukuku nyame ya domwa afi lejukuku yebeye history yebe man second term na abe history organ has said sa constituency no bian timi nkotu so Dr. Okokboy atimi akotu na Doc Mache
Chairman General.
Everybody chopping west side. Jamia campaign mami MP.
Oh, Chairman. Who can say na unse ohwemi na me nunko ko me jako ko nukra. Go na ni je nkwa.
Ye da Jamia se.
Na Chairman General ye we endorsement a. Just Nyankopon di wadi
ye ni nyame tie.
Because Chairman General in fact onu pe na obe contesting wole jokuku amekuma betu. Papa
me so me contest o.
Aha. Say no. Chairman General for me super chese bibia jokuku do be. Teacher man do dasi.
Me so me dasi money adwuma nso a waye e de aboa ye nyina. Wa be de me nse ba means ye be din come for COVID kakra ho. James Kwabna Bonfe acting general secretary ma convention people's party. Kabila
Brapani
Martin
Yenua.
Boko de.
Nyame de yem kwanche. Da woni wapamfo so ase.
The nyame ase.
Kwan ya mama ye say yemra na yeso yemme kasa kakra mfa Ghana nsemo.
That's
Na wo issues no. And subject to the approval of the class head school master. The big head himself. Your approval no. Na amended the kakrabia maya include CPP goes to Congress on August 22. It's not what you prepare. We're subject to the approval.
Oh, so we dear. Send a walking here. I said, what's me if you say, meet him in Casse. Mimpini.
Come if you did it, one on one nest say, yeah, no, somewhere next week, you know, I don't know the Minyan kind. Not
Onyan kind as is already. Kavila, it's all good.
Yeah, sure.
Minchia baby, and now with Mrs. Lucy Ampofo, wherever you are, have a blessed birthday and a great day, Mrs. Lucy Ampofo. Love from your husband, Waxo, aka Mr. Francis Ampofo, and of course from Yada to you. Have a great birthday, Mrs. Lucy Ampofo. God richly bless you. And let me shout out to you. Razak Atakwa Damang, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you, and to Kinky Boss, Presla and Titi. Now Razak, it's a presec thing. It's as a Razak say Okuboy, and then they call presec. Na Uchia Okuboy Anope, and Major Sata Club, baby, Ubi Anope Michiano, the tallest army officer I've ever seen. Michiano Anope pa. Baby, you will be and Mr. Nimayaku, Mr. Samuel Nimayaku, aka Ogidigo. Happy birthday to you as well. Have a lovely day. Doc,
the challenge.
What bed your dear? Yanka COVID the kakra and say about registration.
Yes.
Say that we are doctor. Yes. We are deputy health minister into the but me COVID home kakra.
Challenge Mamintia, Miami brother, Kabila.
Yeah.
Now before the program, I bon come say it was school na student politics no.
Razak say now all the student politics handwork UCC.
Charge na take now. Yeah student politics. Na catch say eh na dey mu dia grow. Mu ko UCC mu ye din wo ho. Penny 40 say Kabila na me say
when
na you friend Kabila no we warrior now e rebel. Na uti di ni kra na charge na ehu abo. I had the opportunity to attend some students program or take Kabila ba ho. Charge na Okasa kakra na me say san enunti na you friend Kabila no. Na the confidence, in fact, the eloquence na me say oh na you say yes say papa we. Na the only thing I call her drink kakra ni say akoko no ama watna akwache na chawajerna sebio akoko ho di nti se osno
David
intermediate mi amhwa abo no size e na me fa me waje enti edru su se me so join politics no me hwe mbo am yenu na ye obvious say ba ko mu ye dru chawa na ba ko so onanti ni pasu kra wan sha sanya rija very Kolewu. Na sebio mi fa plan say abo akese de odi ni na ma eboa. Na enunso aboa ye pa enti enye too late. Democracy enti obetimi aso akoko num sa. Na akoko so odi na chicha wan hwa wakum na edi no. Enti abote and I'm happy about the patience awanya. Chawa General.
Yes.
Before I make call issues no, mami ntia mi mami mienu mu a omuso me mo kese e wo lejukuku. Ewa chief of staff. Honorable Frema. Na ni policeman odi nechi no me fa ha man won ni bra kwa me. Na mi sha mami na me jini na mana o se ompre. Na enejima no ye na kwa me. Obi am here last born. Se me jini ama jem mami. Eti why chairman general right na watunfo.
Mati ene metufo. You stand footwood. In the meantime, already a friend of Mr. Edwin Ado. Osimi Fanchia Kesiema Ora Edward Ni Otu.
Nice one.
Your friend Eddie Banku. No, Eddie Banku Edwin Kay Ngabwe.
Yeah. Obiso send a message so and your bro your friend Stoner. Only no.
Mark Freeman.
Also chow.
Hey, Ewema. Okay, just say Ewema. Obetias.
Say me made you watch it. Never watching it. The doors watching. Let me boy. Bro, come.
Yeah.
Me my first lady, Rebecca Kufado. Awola ni eche lebine mi babo manye won sole ni nwa wala.
Cha manyaba.
Owule nwe afine yo ade nche ya ni drama fi no. Ni no fi ano afi ojugba ye 2020 election em. Bro, come. COVID.
Yes.
First of all no mebo Ghanaians na abaso omo a omo de nhye ne eye adwuma ene omo a omo ya omadwin se omo mbusa
answer na obedru okra me sambo abaso and no buy as usual you know mask bebre
yes
intipacho tabrasa
baba me uka eno me se kabila man tiriso chese
kabila wudi ewu
jato odi me koko
wadi makoko
yeah so far no there are three things that have come together my COVID situation. I always use the word it's an inspiring one despite the unfortunate deaths we've recorded and the unfortunate debilitation I just omo yare I be mokranya e bia complications number 3 never together no first of all state support you can say state support and she or mine ankasa as our mind structure no government are buying their to how they board the fight. The second one yeti or mine no mu in share yesu yedi di ejuma like wearing of mask, avoiding crowded places, trying to support the directions are bayama. And the third one culture is the way a group of people live. I have a strong belief say Nyankopon su die me kasa because I have examples of countries public health preventive mechanisms ni health structure infrastructure no now so they've had thousands of deaths. Classical example is Norway and Switzerland. Although Omobomon is still Nyama how, but yet you compare your strength, no almost strength. Any day anyana, it's an impressive one. Once upon a time, our active cases just more virus now. Other people know. There was a time we had over 10,000 active cases. Active, active,
10,000 active.
Yes.
There was a time we had it in Ghana.
Yes, about 10,000 active cases.
Wow.
Nanyankupa at a period no, on the average, we say now we're dangling around 5,000 for about 2 months. At the point, I feel they won't say active cases in them around 3,500. The last time I checked, the active case we have as at the last review no, was 1,906. Now, there are lessons to learn from this. Right,
yeah.
Cumulative, just say from day one, cases are up to now, no, it's about 41,847. Omoma recover is close to 40,000, 39,780. That's about 94%. Now, say, come malaria. Now, you see, you come malaria from Gordonsburg time to now. One shot you more than our population because in a year that you get it 2-3 times. So the point I'm making is say you really can't tell much based on just the absolute numbers of those who have had it before, but you tell by what you have now, and that's what we mean by the active cases.
Are we not patting ourselves on the back too much? Yeah, more than one basso dodo. Esan say munya ya jatum say adie still are ye huni suni ni banye.
Good.
But I say ye boy and one basso
say Mekanebia said this is one of the topics very complex in communication. So that you have to walk a very fine line of telling the part of the story that inspires hope, that can take care of depression and fear, and at the same time hammer on the part that preaches caution and why caution is necessary. You must do you must speak the double at the same time. Now Sebi, if at a point in time you had 10,000 people who had the virus and could spread it, and now you have 2,000, and just say, "Yeah, buying Sebi now, wa born humodin." But what would your mind when usu buy no aboye? Brother, what I say? Now, Sebio, we've had about 200 plus deaths, brother.
Yeah.
Now deaths are ebi muye Sebi fachemi. Known, some are heralded, some are unheralded. Ebi Sebi obia obi onibi. But the point is that each life
is connected to a family. In that family, no, who can catch me say, oh, yare way, area, Osha, and Yamusana, one show, Mudi, Yamabeduchi, I'm proud. So the point I'm making is because we don't know who will be in that 0.5% mortality, no, all of us must continue to take care of us. I don't get out without a mask. Now, say, you me a doctor. I didn't start to cry. Me was near my one shamaya, I bet me a boy cry. Now, me and me one yama may no, say me the nyama, make it a sanitizer, and I'm inside the mask account, now me keep you distance. How dare you say that? Who the own story if you back me? Into me pacho, Shishaya, a buying a cost yeah. Nina would have a meaning or have an impact if we continue to also take good care of ourselves. Now, what I mean? It is important to mention say Enayekasa is still as a matter of government policy. Once you are confirmed as Obi or COVID, no, Aban takes care of all your bills from the outpatient department through the high dependency unit, even to the ICU. Now, and you say Aban for us to say Kofaya no Brighton or yes, it's because Aban is committed to making sure that the life of the Ghanaian is protected as much as possible. Now, I say this now, yes, we am by obeying and complying to the rules and regulations. Now, if we do this at a point in time, we'll move. Once they say President last address, we are in a transition stage. When it started, we were in a crisis management stage. And then I friend in public health emergency mode. Just that you've activated all your how do you call it, systems. Second stage, is learning to live responsibly with the virus. Then we can be say, oh, I don't know if virus intra me senior near and can we pay Obama it is Sinaprat. But when we say learn to live responsibly, it's an admission by the scientists that I don't have what it takes to wipe it out completely now. Like HIV. HIV started 40 years ago. They started by looking for a vaccine and a treatment. The vaccine they've not succeeded in the vaccine, but they've succeeded at effective treatment. And your threshold kakra de your population, but Sebi, people are still advised to live responsibly with the virus around. And to Mikacho will be the last I say, yeah, Kasa or Ghana, there are close to 500,000 Ghanaians who have HIV. Mm-hmm. 500,000.
Yeah.
But why do you still get out into the day, not saying that, hey, once HIV virus is in Ghana, hey, let me be careful, I can't even go down. You've been taught the dynamics of the virus. Mm-hmm. There is a virus that spreads through fluids. So if uko jimoja, make sure that you take it from the right source. Because if the virus is in it, you can get it. The second one too is that make sure that if you meet somebody, it should be someone that said in the background. Don't leave and engage in casual sex. So the ABC of reckless. The ABC of what? HIV prevention, abstinence, be faithful, and condom. Sana ya chile upon ya faswa ya di tackle corona. What we refer to as a risk reduction behavior.
Yeah.
The first one is that put on your mask, so that even if Okoboy will be no kasane one from your mask will trap the droplets. Second one is sebio matina minimisa kamu table yi. Se kabila na okite binodi ewa ninsa minimisa fa ape misumefa minimisa ko benimpe ochina betino na Okoboy wan eshi. And you see, before I would use the sanitizer or wash your hands.
Yeah.
Say, we are we are audio beyond Yasem. Michelle be also Okoboy, me who virus in that. Na me pese me who answer na magine yi. Bragami. Sa kasano. Me pese me kase kasa se binyanse nim. Me ka obi me kase me yano. But bragami, me pese ko say ye cancer of the liver. What she be da?
Debbie.
What she be da? Fine. Your be a friend chondrosarcoma. And cancer of the bone. Me see what she be that or see me she be that. Okay, your virus be a friend of SARS-CoV-2. What she be that or see Dr. Dean Kramentida. Me say okay, your Middle East respiratory syndrome, MERS, and you see a coronavirus. What she be that? Me see me now. Women you know she be that. Who train as she be? I said what you or see Dr. Majine. So the point is that you can't see the virus.
Yeah.
Now virus no ye ni wanka obi a she that but because it is invisible, the wise man will not wait for carnage before putting his house in order. You always put your house in order so that you can avoid distraction. And so far, no, so good. Now, the third stage, I have started discussions as government and all stakeholders. Who say, who come not far? there are some communities what's the word? Meningitis, CSM,
cerebrospinal meningitis.
Yes, it's endemic. You can't say endemic. I just say every month of the whole year, you record some cases. But your threshold graph I draw, and to Ufa is one of the communities CSM is yes. So let's say if in a month they record 3 cases of CSM, you will not hear it in the news in Accra because they have a curve IFL with the threshold. But if they record 30 cases of CSM in a month, it goes beyond Abroso. That's why we say there's an outbreak or they've crossed the epidemic curve. And once we've not gotten a vaccine for corona, at a point in time, whether we like it or not, we have to discuss what threshold constitutes an endemic level. So we must, and every country must set their own threshold.
Yeah.
So we can discuss and say that, okay, for Ghana, our endemic threshold is 2,000 cases.
Matthias, yeah.
Then Chadi say, and then Chadi leave back to normal. We'll wear our mask, we'll do everything. But what it means that if we have 2,000 cases, that means largely we are in control. But these are discussions that will happen. So that when we decide that our threshold is 2,000 cases, it means for the 16 regions, average, each person is contributing about 120 cases. Just if I cry there 120 cases, then it's like malaria or cholera. Cholera is also unfortunately it should have been cleared, but it's endemic. But what is a cholera outbreak? The outbreak count just say more cases than expected. Once we set the limit for the 3rd phase, then life can start going back to what? Normal. It is when we hear that in Ashanti region they've recorded 1,000 cases as a region instead of the, let's say, the 200 threshold. Then quickly their public health emergency will be what? Activated. So that if it is a lockdown, if it is a restriction, if it is whatever, then you move in. So as a country, the story, like I always say, is inspiring because of 3 factors. There's been continuous government support, there's been compliance from a significant number of our population, and the grace of God, the grace of God has been sufficient. And a lion, this is what I end with on COVID, is one of the most feared animals in the jungle.
Yeah.
But I learned about the lion. So or person on the like on farm feeding or statia, the aggression only increases as you get weak. Remember what I say? Or shout the first time or statia attack who am reno. Why do you say on slow down the aggression? It gets severe. And apparently the reason is that an injured animal can be very dangerous. So or statia or person almost say that's how you approach a pandemic. When your statistics or your figures start getting quite what's the word? Low, that's the time to rather enforce and strengthen your prevention and your compliance. Because I didn't bounce it back. The FN either a second wave. And now researchers are coming. And on one shot, explosive. Yes, exactly. So please, our picture now should not be a passport for recklessness. It should be a ticket for caution. Our picture now should not be a passport for recklessness.
It should be a ticket.
A ticket for caution. And by the grace of God, we'll get out of this.
What fuels your hope? You seem to have a certain level of, hope, faith. Say, what is it?
Yes, sir. It is better to be hopeful and avoid depression.
Okay.
And even then say for the worst to happen than to have died before the real time. So one of my quotes, what's his name? One of my guys were Tech. I remember it so well. Or see, the fear of life is not that we die, but that which will die in us before even our time. Yes. Now coming. If you study diseases and outbreaks across the world from the 13th century, Kabila, the world population has faced a lot of plagues. There were some plagues that wiped 2/3 of the world. That was the known world. Sorry, the known world. Now, point at me and say it has been established that any point in time in history, the population survived. Some survived. Now, it is because of the survival story of those who came before us. Me too, I am emboldened to believe, say, come what may. Unfortunately, the journey will be characterized by some loss of lives,
yeah.
But the majority of us shall make it. Now, I continue to say this because in the US, within the first 2 months of COVID, over-the-counter drugs purchase of anti-anxiety medication increased by 60%.
Anti-anxiety?
Exactly.
Wow.
Because people, the news of the pandemic alone,
the reaction
alone. Now, I started saying,
I am Shishia.
Out of hospital deaths in the US increased 6 times when COVID came. Hospital. So, public health experts realize it's not enough to tell people that this disease will kill you. You must find a way to keep people alive so that should they even not meet the virus, they will not die from other causes. Now, lastly, who can watch any senior practice here, but some of us also have faith. Kind of religious one, that he who is with us, he is bigger than the virus. And when a scientist tells you that he is looking up, a child say, my roommate, Dr. Dempsey, on bomb pie Brahami. Some confirm now, because I was in my bomb pie or female, no. So, Timia, Shaggy, so a bomb pie king. Or see, be a science. Now, one day, no, I said you were kept Brahami. The surgery was supposed to take 1 hour.
Okay.
For 3 hours, no theater. On Shibida.
Wow.
Us up here, no, obey a sign of the cross. Since then, no, or bomb pie kakra. And son, I'll go a case.
When we say yes,
exactly, is to tell you that sometimes the science alone cannot help you to be optimistic, but you must believe that some way, somehow, we shall overcome. And that is an important aspect of management of a crisis. The leader cannot afford to be pessimistic. The last person to express fear should be the pilot. The last person should be the pilot. And we, in direct leadership of this disease, should be the last people to speak in a way that shows that we are gone. In fact, we just had wow, we are.
As a soldier for spirit, kakra o mupao.
I'm saying we confuse engineers. So one step
ahead.
Once a supper.
Oh, bakuti ha.
Yes.
One step ahead.
Once a supper.
Shaman General.
What's your doctor?
Pa.
Okay, yeah, quite any man.
Kama wakasa ye. Na me buy na man can be there.
At the senior.
Na me sanso ehwe akire se chochrofo pani di ma CPP na minua Dr. Koboy etwa attack on the basis of symbols na man respond wa. I'm say me party a cheater for ni enya cheater for no nko ane bayi enkokra ene mrewa wo mu a chechre me ne me on be disappointed come we men kan kase o de men twini mi eye say ubedi osonachi open no na mom de wuntumi enka ne say osono no eso won faso echen akokonini ahyensode a ye frɛ no akokonini no kwame akokonini no oya akokonini a ne ntakra na ewo nachi no eye du baako na dakro anyame ya adoma na otwe besimi sɛ ye one on one no baso a ye bedi sankomo no ye pa sɛ sia ye amene wo kasɛ o penipa ye ene de ede amanyo enkanko ene nkaye dum ema nipa adasa edi muntini pa abo bia ni hono mo ana hyenso de edanso te se akokonini onyane no obon Kokrokoo osi yeyi nyame aye wo bo nyame din wo ha, and I'll come to it in the COVID situation. The God factor, the providential factor, akoko ene deba enyo sono on cancer asemi bi onama onamu de to so bi kwame onya nyame Kokrokoo anane kakaka no kwa na oka onyane ni fiefo nyane kromu nyina enti onya pese menkomenya ana yen kan nhye mane nyeye enti ye cha ye nche ma ye fiefo nkwa o ye cha mane so obi aso enu nti na CPP ye ni babi o mai mantem bia ye friend say ye World Bank ye World Bank ye friend Ghana nti ye dwene Ghana o man nyina ho kwame de to so bio se ukọ ya nananom ho na wo pe no kure e wasemu abisa ye abisa enyo so ne kofa ebeye anyankamade anase ye amamre akukọ defo ya na edi busa ma oka no kre se de asinie o penu kredi a o pepere yo ne atentene ne a enyo so no akukọ kwame won sa akukọ nini no okọ no konya aduane a otremu ema wonum a aye mre ewo ne mu no omuso enya bidi. We take care of the disabled. We take care of the vulnerable. We take care of orphans. Yeah, no. Kwame.
Yeah.
Me di besi ya. Akukọ nini. Kwame. Kokrokoo. Wabo Kokrokoo. Na osone di aka ni nyina no o ka kire yese mu medi akire. Na ye ni animu ti se de di animu ekoje fa ho de ma Ghana.
Akukọ emu ye hu.
Kwame otia. Kwame otia. Uhu ana wona washada u phone so kra order ho o so si uhu no
show night square Kokrokoo.
Thank you na be ediabio chama ediabio qualitatively and quantitatively nowhere can the elephant compare in relevance to the politics of a people as the cockerel of the Convention People's Party.
Just 5 seconds. Only the funny thing.
Yeah.
Just 5 seconds. Akukọ ni Osunu onya ya aboa anaye sa.
Onya ya aboa.
Living thing. What about the umbrella? Go on.
I didn't want to.
The point is that at least both have life in them. But the umbrella is not a living thing.
To be fair to them, it's not just an umbrella. They have an eagle head on top of it.
This is only what you call umbrella.
But one Kasano said they leave a confused identity. Another matter.
Another matter for another day.
COVID in someone, Dr. Koboy Kaino. Me feel say wa bono I wa twamfuni na ma ayefe. Now we be say what makes him hopeful.
Yeah.
The most grievous sin in life is the sin of despair. Kwame. Ade bia no honoma edi nipa nya se nipa. Ti say obema wakoma ani wugide aboto na unni ani daso bia. Ani daso enedi nipa nante. And that's when the Kenya nipa, and that's so ene impuntu ene nkanko eden eba. Enti hu hia pass nipa bia no, obenya bibia wani daso. Ai no na etwe ebo wo bra. Na Kwame. You know, Dr. Koboy can sembia me feel say me can first time me ba we fidie so unu say lockdown oni adinti u delay ya ansa na u bie kwan ya ma aba bedin komo me can sembi say COVID yi aba say nke emechire nyansa na se de na ye di nkomo no fa no ya nhwe ya na ye nsua na enu bebre yi ade na COVID ama ye hu COVID ama ye hu say no matter how robust or strong your economy is no enye sufficient enough. If it's a man be no one more, Kwame, no, Sabi, or exempted from the hardship a year COVID at the buy. Might be any two COVID, my own said, ye biano, ye biashe, ye sashe, and the end to me, Sisubia say, there, Minia Penny Kwame Sefa Kai Air Kane, and no ne. The so from so an answer kawa bia ni ho enti obi antone de antwene enkofa ne de no ana de me kwabra for me kan eno na eye kronkron a nkikawa bia ni ho no mo enti yemfa obi ade entontwene ne emfa me de no that the best in us Kwame has some bad element in it, and the worst amongst us may have some good in it. Humility to learn. COVID offered us that opportunity, but are we taking it? Responses are among for the ama COVID. Ghana, Chairman General, take it or leave it. The God factor again, but young weather situation. We are now obono. Kakra woma ye. Say temperate. Baby, I want more temperatures. No yet low pa no. like a say one a chamber be na a boy had me, you know. And that say Yariana Casano, and Timin tre, a wo wiemu, she said, a tre a new muno. And the Indian Crano, I'm saying health experts start take us. I say, Yenya Biana Eshe, and I say, Emunya you. I see me anom ne ade no yenya di ni nyina eya hunini ehunsam ana covid abama ehunu say self discipline ewie bibia perepere yo. And that is where I think I agree with Dr. Koboy say nyame a Ghana come ye indiscipline o highly indiscipline wa video so obi be beto just say time ye lockdown no obi pie na soldier for no and say police for na china or see or behwe say lockdown na ya na ampa ye adwuma na there
be also at say soldier for the police for bakrum into obehwe.
Can you imagine? It will take only an indisciplined life to do that. Na ne krokra mu no Kwame aban abon ho modin ya ye nema bi. And the last time I made that I said president etu anamo bi am fi say na eye ade papa ana back to yen pre-colonial African system of governance, consensus building towards finding solutions. Now meeting back up ye call you know and one frame meeting ni biom excellency because for all the political party leaders you could share one Kwame obi wo bibia na person work at least you have been offered an opportunity to express it or vent it. I feel say that exercise you know not only around COVID but on almost every friend saying challenging issue. I want my muhanmo yan constitution say hun komodie yan fa dwentre emra yan si gina pen me fi say ye betumi yes ade no than the consistent approach say yan koto aba de dodo no be ka no majority minority eno na yan franco ye adwuma often the way we are doing our things the no but nsambinu mo hono a ye di ehun komo wo akire anase kukuamu ansa na babadwamu a me feel say beboa. COVID has offered us that opportunity, and I think sir His Excellency the President, while applauding you for that exercise in March, was it in March that year summit no Jubilee House no mesre say on all other subjects no yemmo modern say ye bedi sankomo no chama jena me de we be wie on COVID situation. Former Vice President of the United States of America, a friend of Hubert Humphrey, no academic so or true book be title near The Cause is Mankind. Sorry, The Cause is Mankind. 1965. Kwame Okasembi Wumwa Ayemede pa. I don't know if I'm quoting him exactly, maybe I'm paraphrasing. I'll say no law or effort can be better than the people who are invited to adhere or administer to it, and those called upon to enforce.
You may have to take it again.
Kwame, no law or effort can be better than the people who are called upon to obey it, and those called upon to administer or enforce it. I think it's come about
clarity.
Not just say, Emrabian one way betimi aye adwuma asene one more yesi wo mu fa mra ni adwuma. And I said one more ehwe say mra ni ebe den e di be adwuma enu ti na that be make say no president or government of this country called Ghana can do anything remarkable if the people of this country don't or are not willing to allow that change to happen. Enu ti na ajontofo bi try say titifo no yanuma ye bi ko adu mene wo so say baby dia to aso dia kan mo fan so
wow ntimi to aso
oh na kwa nyom dia via de che o enti mesre say ahoninie ene enema ye dia gu akwamunie ni achi na mi wie krakra on this COVID situation kwame ya pomuden ene ye didie mu ya hu say there's one guarantee and I say assurance say wa homo na ekon yare no ho odene a eboaw e ma wutimi ejina sa yare ya no nhwehwemu binima nkrofo akakran say because we have not all been tested no I don't know me cancer say it is even possible doc for me to even have it's a hunch I have. Yeah. It's possible that Ghana for at some point I recover. And some are recovering because
you can have it,
your knowledge of the numbers is only based on testing.
Yes, it's true.
Now you'll be on testing. And the young mom say you better in your pum, you better ye. Punu ya mi punu na say campaign ti enye da bia na mitimi punu na no pese mi punu ya kakra punu mi anya niema na na me ebe kan ho na ya so ye
me da say Mr. Kwame Abuaji Mensa or PA to Mr. Kofi Bedu Omenshia Palace Chairman General, tell Kabila the cock has been used for barbecue long ago.
It will not be alive if that were to be so.
Akwesi Obingana Joseph Bisiasi says, Dr. Okoboy has educated us this morning. God bless him. Former for Nana to do more. Okoboy de completo. Tell Dr. Okoboy that I like his positivity and I love to meet him one day. Oko, you are honored. This is my uncle, Mr. Kwesi Abiesi. Wafapa. I'll say he'll love to meet you. Tell Okoboy that Yeri Akoko Yendi Akoko. Mr. Bankusi, good morning. Have a lovely day. Wadima Akoko. Obina kind. Wadima Akoko. And this answer when you are buying. Kabila, your registration who come more is 4 minutes past 10.
Yeah.
Aftermath of registration matters arising. NDC calls for independent audit of newly compiled electoral roll over duplicate registration. Electoral Commission is almost 17 million. EC saved 173 million. ABC a wasteful expenditure. ABC here. I'm sure you've heard all the stories. Yeah. What do you make of it? Who want to say?
Kwame.
Yes, Kabila.
Wait, the entire job having here. We are sending a message without him. Or say, excellent delivery on peace. You should be able to sing well or kwashini. This is an advantage. Vera, I summer school say Aduma Chedi and Yamichema will be an idea. It be a median young talk. Enti who can also swaka. Aha. Chairman General, registration adia ye madwin ene se enkabra ya drum yi anabra ya ye womu yi enkankomodie no ebeye kwan a ye befa so ahunu se enye da bia ene se ye kasa ebu ye ho animtia anase ye kasa ebre ye ho ase said ye Kwame wouldn't say me a perpetual optimist,
yeah,
and that in every problem there is an opportunity. One my ye bo mu din se one my adie one my ye bibi agi din akese wo medicine, law, history, media, journalism. Kwame oko babia info eye de we free how bi mu anasa waso how bia no na ogi din. And the situations are I want someone dinner and I say a day a bad year. And yet, I say, do I know? I know so that day I are Saba. And the situation are your COVID situation and a abatuafe. In Sensembe, na yentia once say, Yenina, na ye drinking away, Yenabay, and my binum cross static. I say, and Susias and Camian to Abafi. Okay. Now, more cast answers here. No more if he say 1992, April 28. Yet, Waba, Eka say, Yet, Mamrani be Yajuma. I'm Mamrani say, as I say, Yatuaba. Now, Yan Tuaba Fia, Quanya say, a fast so a buya, say, on mine, and I say, You're governing your honor. Constitution, and yes, I must have Quancheno. And think that I feel Yan Tuaba. You can imagine what will happen in 2021. Chaos. I mean,
yeah,
chaos. And as for those who are arguing that the Chief Justice could act, the Chief Justice could only act on an existing term of a presidential office. By January 6, 2021, there will be none. On what authority would he have been acting? But that is another matter for the constitutional experts and lawyers of high repute to debate, and academics. And only another matter. Chairman General, something in a PPA. Nami Adum. Electoral Commission now are yearning share that from 2018. In fact, before this commission, Amami Jimenez said, "Dieni or better take over." No, the commission under Charlotte said had in mind a program to conduct and compile a new register on the basis of a new technology. And Kwame, a hand more and a me person me can be say, "The ya ne no nkomodie no registration ya no Mr. Meka." More be a new say a representing a vindication or damnation of any position previously taken. It cannot be. Rather, you want to say a exercise anasa anamontua abba say be share ye kabimamin kabi anamontu no den. It has come as an exercise to strengthen our democratic exercise and the journey. To ensure say ye nyina no ye beye how to said ye be pre ye di e di amaya ho enti one ma ya say oh ye take his position we nra eno na we have been vindicated we mu take position we nra they have been damned near the Kwame. I'm sorry to say I not the way to go no M1 komodie no yen kunu say ye nyina no ya ka bom ne na electoral commission hyehyeye e na ye di akire na nya amanyoko bi e na afre ama ye registration we. That point must be made. And one more say, Yanni, I say, any register for Nama, me stress say, Yan desist from that. Would say, Bino Sobeka say, Yanni, I say, may any register for and after Yano, the almost nice has some because Yanina, Jimra to Muse, a banon Shishaya, a far but to own someone, a electoral commission, and necessary wedding, Udi Sedumano. Commission also any pabacon, a basunku, Nipa Makun song, no Muna Kushia, a Sijnae. Enti me tia no floor no Kwame ya share dwuma de ya say June 30.
Yeah.
One more share say Kwame ne nyina ya dwene ho say enti ade e be koye no COVID yi amanfo be bo hu ni ade. Chamajera. Are you not surprised at the numbers?
Why should I be?
No, but look at the outpour of people, persons going. Let me tell you honestly, my fear ne say Nipa beba out ako register no ebe so low say one man na make claims say there was a bloated register no ebe claim this vindication na ye kan no ena ebi no so be ka say mo ye ka che mo say COVID nti ma mo nkoye ya kan na mo ntie ena nipa kwa won say nipa ma me register nanka akoye previously taking positions they competing say one ne de ye one na ne de nye because the figures would have in figures be favor obia position obetiki based on the subjective analysis obeye but na me adom and na figures aba out no ama ye nyina yahunu say one man na claim say register ye bloated on person with statistics way eye adwuma no Kwame you cannot do that one so na ka say COVID ntin crofo ma metro din no and na one so ntimi nya sa me more party bia din but the two sides who are causing this problem no one nyai Nagana ya bremo.
And luckily none of them is here. So they
can pretend not to be here. No, I love that. That's positive one. Nyamiadum ya registration ya wi. Kwani ye yo. Last week ya inaugurate a adjudication committee Baby ye trotro di ni nyina no nkeka wane ensem kan bi aba di bi ho wo mo ye ya preview crowd ya maye say Kwame won say ye use two bio features ye nipa ho akwa no mienu na wo mo de troye fingerprint ene facial contours na eno no chamanje na baku bitiwa baku be you aha ubiti ba kwa bakube you kama na me adom ye ko trase ne ahwede technical report no anase mfidie no de aba no because mfidie no wo mo ahode no that's why I cassette technology is not a panacea to electoral irregularities because all the obetuma kwakọ ya dru ana ne hihye no so no se de yesi aye na fa no ebia sinto bi betumi abam kra se de si adwuma no fa entimi wie payo kra enti ebe hia se nipa baasun kuo betena se ne ahwe se de afidie na kan ye ne ya adwene nti ye mfanfa ha eno so ye de nhyehyɛ agu akwan mu a ye bedi akiri me bompa ye se san hyehyɛ ni nyina ye inaugurate me na na me gina ho mama nyuko enya amanyuko nkwa amanyuko fo nkwa de ekɔ ye the omo involve civil society organizations any other stakeholders ewo ya bato ensemu yes our process no chairman general particular say nipa ni binum eto emra during the registration ye di bi mo akọ court binum gina sendi bia ye di wonom asem enti process no ye wie wo mu wie sa process ya ye be ye friend say provisional register no ye de kobo honom ama ye nyina ya kwakọ hwese kwame udi kwame sefa kan nipa bebre ya no mo kan kwame no me kura na yin kan na be samfum so no ye me di ne twato wo so di ai ne twato etie bia wo kwame na e bia owura no obo no na ni so ekobo mfum so ana se ye na akoye KWAME instead of MI obeko na akoka se da bi o me kwame no eye I enye I ne ya tene no me di kwabna bonfe junior me spelling no JNR obedru ba bi na ya spelling no full eno so meko na maka cho so media no ye twa ne tia ye ntro no mani nsi na watene no obi ono ma ne mfie kra e bia na kikawa bi ba ye ma bi ba se na ya mpanko ade a yakobo obi say ye won 1792 and the person is still alive obviously an error. The exhibition no ebema kwan ama ya tintini nyina me ka say your benphobia minino pa 2012 de no ya omunya ni date wrong omu enter ni date wrong minini permission say me de ne be mfantunti na me say otie enti from so bia wo ho no ye betintini nyina ansa na wo mu aba be ye final register chairman general de me kan say de ye wo mu sesi ayi ba bia ye du sesi ayi so be was saying tibia ofi say dwumadie na yedi ye na anko ya electoral commission enye wo mo pe na mo di ye dwumo wo mo de mra samra no enye electoral commission fo nkwa na e wo ho ma wo mo e wo ho ma mini mienu so enti sebi ye nyina ye mfa mra nya dwuma na ye mfa akwankyira mra ne de ama ye no na ye nso ye haw na no sene say na sorry na mabetena se aka se Dr. Kobo ensem o kan ye eni nyina so bia de enti eni nyina so no menka nso me de meka nyina ne se eni nyina so bia wo ya sa se bi na ya se de utu nsufin agu omanfo ani enya kama enya sa na echichire man enti mesre na mesre so electoral commission for na mo kasa kwa me enya hwe ye kakra represent sami bo won na mo kana mo an ansi so bia it mean the bibi but I'll give an example. Matter say a man for kasa about minors being on the register. Kwame. Why is the proof? Who is saying that? How are you saying somebody is a minor on the register? Where is that coming from? Bloated by what? Chairman General, you see, kasa ye kana kasa trano.
According to the Insight newspaper, EC chairperson makes startling revelation. Minors foreigners bloat new register. Front page.
And how me that's what I'm saying. I'm not exempting here.
EC chairperson she didn't use the word bloated.
Well, so
but newspaper in there you see.
Kwame unim. Jumadia ye do electoral commission. Me no kase. Juma ye do electoral commission. I'm serving on a committee that was set up by this commission to investigate claim bia Mame Charlotte say during the 2016 election results transmission.
Say hack your system.
Or say she used the word compromise. I have a technical report here by Dr. Dunia Ramazani or your consultant at EC4 Faomo. He makes it clear, say, Charlotte made that statement without consulting them, the technical people. And she could not have made that statement if she spoke to them.
But because Kabila, let me help. Mamembo with just reading the part from Madame Jimenez's statement, what she read, so that I know that sometimes the reportage can have their own way. So this is what she said. The commission is mindful of the infiltration of foreigners at a number of our registration centers. Additionally, we are aware that a number of minors have also found their way into the register. We are confident that the challenge processes initiated at all districts throughout the country will unearth these illegal persons and rid the register of those who do not qualify to be on the register. We are confident that the register that will be used for 2020 elections will be a wholly Ghanaian enterprise, reflecting qualified Ghanaians and Ghanaians only.
So how can anybody interpret this? How can anybody to interpret this to mean that Mami Jean Mensah, Jane say there are foreigners or minors on the register? I mean, we must be careful how we communicate election issues, because that's like health communication, no? Delicate. On tia samna sia yanka yensusunka. If it's a kwame, said ya me no ka me ya kasa ya me di kan ye no. Ya challenging crofobia no more. Ya tina won mo nsem no so. Me call I ask me call regional to me campaign. Me ne a party me call a registration centers and a party for more represent on election first adjudication committees. Meaning a binum din common ade, and some of our members are playing very critical roles there. Kwame, the truth ne say obia or challenge obibiano. The honors rest on that person. Yeah. To go and establish the challenge, you know, the entire challenge here. So the panam for challenge now, committee net no, and I don't make us say, Obimra no be in one. What's it mean, Ghana? The entire was in Ghana, won't necessarily come first. And son, and me, you are no. And to some America say, when we are aware of such challenges in some places, how does it conclude, say, was it foreigners were registered? Who has established that? Intimacy, but that again re-emphasizes my point to say the commission, please must be mindful and careful of what they communicate. Chairman General, Mr. from no 2020 we are going to go to the next phase after SSA Emra Ede Betu Abano voting day. Said he's here to Abanafa. Mestre say, yes, you want some kikabia. Yang fa kwanya, ye befa swa kan semnoa, emfa kuye, any basabaso yenye den, Emma. Na oman yi beye yo, enye yo, kwame. Ya woni unu akwabna bonfe, ena mubeye amana yeye. Wa wutie me. Wa wo babia Ghana hafa na nyina wi asia fa na babia wo ye Ghana ni mo a mutie on framam minua na pempenom mutie wo London mi nyina mo ka ho bi na minim sa mo wo pepa se o man yi be ye ni yi a ebe yi ma nyina kwa
medase oka London ho asem na minuanum bia ewo amanone mo papa Emmanuel Sian Yaujima a yeta friend SY unya 75 years weekend di yebepe baby pamanada yema munyina shedding opanyi Emmanuel Sian Yaujima a ne friend SY wanyane baby ko nyankopon emfa ne kra ensie agidi stone oni ebusuafo nyina yema shedding right area smusem de doso so Peace 104.3 etwa ye jume dieno so Dr. Bernard Okoboy ewaha nanamo usua jima a mukokofodia this weekend mu papa Emmanuel Sian Jima SY munina yema mo shedding. But on the brighter side of life yesime fanchari mam Mrs. Sophia Gifty Awoche, happy birthday number 71 to you Mrs. Sophia Gifty Awoche. If you know, very Reverend Harry Awoche woma ne wonana num nyina se anope they wish you a happy birthday. And our china Madam Kate Efia Konedu Odwason Kwanta ochina ma obedi 74 Madam Kate Efia Konedu ewo Odwason Kwanta nyamin shira webusuye nyina wo ba Erikamponsa Boateng Nana Saba Mensa antise wa otakradem omunyina se nyankopon enton shirasiu engu wa brabom. Dr. Goboy
okay.
Eyiram, okay, last one. Say happy birthday to my lovely girl, Eyiram Ashiagbo. And my auntie, Mrs. Bridget Ifia Kwashiga from Elam Kwame Ashiagbo. Okay, now let's move on. Dr. Kobo Pajabrin.
Welcome. I follow, Nyanimu Omo Kasa against the new register. Now, say, Omo the argument for Fraba. Omo say, no, drew or no one pay baby for the Abba. The Electoral Commission of this country never used bloatedness as a case for going into any register. Now, absolutely. You see, this was a speech and now release are giving my Electoral Commission. Mikitawaha. Now, when we're making a case for a new register. Now, can be challenges are what the current system. And challenges are in terms of operation and why we have to go for a new system. Now we can say features of the new system they are looking at an open system based on standard and open technology, a system that is hardware agnostic. They use a lot of terms, but me they be here me problem kwami. The argument is say they've incurred financial loss because omu ikoye we now omu use scano. Na manobe drew 17 million na sebina e register.
Dr. Bosma say why here can kids you do bear 19 points.
Yes. Na bro immediately open ameko. Those who say that assume that going by the old register or the status quo was without cost, which is a serious error
because they don't understand the issues.
No. Either they deliberately.
Are you sure they don't? Or they refuse?
I mean, if you refuse to understand, you don't understand.
Now, these were the estimates. The vendor they are not providing solution to the Commission of Ghana or the AMA Commission before before G Mensa T. Almost see the number of BVR kits used in 2016 for the had some electoral processes before Mensa were 5,500. Number of BVR kits that are refurbishable 1,005. The unit cost of refurbishment for each 3,500. No, but this is BVR. Sorry, let me do BVD first. Number of BVDs used were 68,000. Those in good condition were 56,000 out of the 68. This was before Mensa came. Unit cost of refurbishment for one was going to be $244. All these are in dollars, the figure. The total cost of refurbishment for all the BVDs was $30.6 million. Now, additional BVRs that they had to buy, BVDs, that's they wouldn't start to say verification, they had to buy additional 24,000 pieces. Each was going to cost $917. The cost for BVDs alone was $35.6 million. If Ghana get new register, now we were just putting ourselves in order.
May say those who want to make that argument, we can sit down over the figures. Even the management of the data center alone,
the cost,
the data center alone,
yes, was even more than
the people who were. Let me just provide this information for you. What would him say? The biometric system and running running. It was in foreign hands.
Yeah.
In fact, the keys to operate it was in foreign hands.
Yes.
Making cases say, as I say, Ghana for it me yes, of course, the vendors cannot be blamed entirely. Because inherent documents they show.
Yes.
But the name the EC has got the technical capacity.
Jimensa. In fact, my tip from many people are say politics. They are apolitical more or less. Just consensus. Who have told me say this lady has done well. This commission has done well. One thing I mean admire about her, he say, in the midst of the castigations and the personalization, she had always remained calm, firm and focused.
Ayeni.
Oh, this lady has been calm, firm and focused. Now you see, look at the opening paragraph of her speech. And there is a way humility impacts on your work.
Yeah.
There is always a way. A humble spirit hardly falls in dangerous waters. Not in the opening paragraph. No. Good morning, citizens of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I welcome you to the 9th edition of the Let the Citizen Know. We initiated this program. We thank God for a new day. His mercies are new every morning. Indeed, the fact that we have successfully completed the 2020 registration exercise is a testament of his faithfulness. We certainly could not have come to this point without him. I say this because we have prevailed and conducted a successful voter registration exercise against all odds. As a commission, we have not lost sight of the circumstances around which the 2020 registration exercise was conducted. Now, the last paragraph, because the people say registration, we cannot end without thanking the Almighty God for seeing us through a successful voters registration exercise. His faithfulness is constant. That we have had 36 days of no rain in a rainy season and a smooth and seamless voters registration exercise, it can only be by his grace. Now, there were over 37,000 people without fingerprints registered this time. Now only
and I didn't even catch your fingerprints.
Yes, sorry, 61,000.
Over
61,995. Now, one thing I learned from my MBA program, obviously, in making a decision, they have something they call intrinsic bias. If we will be all the time, why do you say be our called the sanity? Because we say Sebi Fachem. I would do this way to capture it. Why do you say Ghana will be and this is the 1,000 plus no. And can you this new system anka? And do so me to about the years of General Kabila here.
You're from face only.
Oko boy John I see. Oko bra. Papa we Kabila no. What's a Kabila now? Now me I be say every way obi a one me lie say or the na comedy. Enti bra kwami so obi a minim say wa free wiase ayaye na ye kra. Me see way or any nipa or just my ultimate to aba. Now the good thing about this system is say because the technology applied can capture some features of your face, you know. Bra kwami ukona unsa emfa. Nobody will call Okobo Kabila to come and verify. The because machine will pick those features
biometrically.
Now and no biometrically and no activate will say way Kabila. Now only obviously Micha Baladu Menu. Honorable Michano Papa. I see a cry and only in Bako and Fum. So Muko Obibeku.
Meko.
Now Kurano you can cross it Jai and Ko read the account.
They are broad theory.
Now Omurisa and Kurano who say Omu bre adenashi enyede and omu bisa o mama say enti de ye the kwakra ni fast word say omu say enye fast nti na ya ba ha e abronkwa na ye na bra kwa
first day okay so akoje we had that
na the maka ni say ebi mu ti this feature okay was say mo enu mo mu ni omu say say kai we are leaving the biometric details of the finger to now go for facial recognition, which is inferior to the biometric details. Not forgetting, deliberately avoiding to say this is an add-on to the biometric, so that we don't call people for their subjective view. Where abroad, the past sheda. In fact, was abroad say, "Amu ITS person now, amu IT terms Okoboy crown say adi way, etibi boa." But I have brought into Mekono or maybe any according.
Yeah.
I remember the last time in Baha when Kasaba register we catch the entity for say they are my brothers and sisters. When all is said and done, we are one family as a country. Now you can push arguments to a point, but when you get to the stage where now the commission has come out with a CI, they've procured items, they have set a timeline, you have to shift from agitation mode to preparation mode.
From agitation
to preparation, so that you start to prepare yourself and your followers.
But who told you they were not prepared?
Oh, either they prepare late or deceptively not more prepare underground. But the point is that and who could have sent a wrong signal to Obia on your deep. Now what DH and now say it is possible say Sakasani penny register Misha Abrante Biwo and this is me my one of my brothers a friend of BBC or a communication officer or Bruno or check glasses Osi Eric, if any baby Ejiano. Osi register. I must so mark my words.
Eric AJ.
Eric, Osi no register. Michelle is an Amikai. Sir John, may you so rest in peace. Any me am missing about Samioku. And I'm business so ra. What's your court? Who the judges are shada? Uvim now the Kasawahalo. Have you matched your powers against that of the state before? Now or show me. Nabakami. Going forward, let me say on this program, say the 2020 election will not be about outcries. This time no more outcry. It's a loud noise or protest. And wailing. It will be about outreach. There are two words almost said, but one has to do with reaching out with a message. The other has to do with shouting and ranting and complaining. Now, 2020 election. It's not going to be about what I can do if you give me the opportunity, but what I have done when you gave me the opportunity. Election when election I can say Saudi mamia when na meye. Election way is about odi mamma no when na meye. And that is where I come to, in my opinion, the strongest brand going into this election, the biggest tool we have is the record of this government in the 3.5 years. And record me. Obi say, doctor, record the who can. I'm in pay growth 6.5. And I'm in pay inflation. And as I say, me am trust record me. And I'm my analysis. Say instead of speaking about growth, no, I'll speak about entities about we buy no. Not say omu ni wiasim all their life were gone, but now they are back. Record me.
Yeah.
Kasa Preku recently. Under one district, one factory. Omo the proposal, in fact, the motion by parliament. Yes, seeking tax waiver. Who's under one district, one factory? No, Ube sick factory are buying taxes, every machinery, any name or something. An amount of $28 million, and are buying way through the deliberate conscious effort. They have it, they call it the obstructions to establishment of business. And can buy way one district one factory and this Kasa Preku. Now on company no mwako reviving no mwako sa starting now from Paramount Distilleries. Kofi Jumami Wafa. Now it was under Gio before we came. Now a company and so nipa wire white. Ya bonu moja sa still Osoria that one you form. Now Ushia buyer under Onono companies are first. Now moja ni omumu almost 30 sorry pe. It is an indication that the environment is now conducive and it is important to support such a government. Now on him, the company invested an amount of 390 million Ghana cedis.
Kasa Preku.
Bravo friend equity. And omu use debt in terms of the finance, you know. Now debt amount was 234 million Ghana cedis from SGSSB and another bank. Point at me and say, Ankanya ban esheye any nyama odi atu ho any ni sebi ni arrangement of the financing system anka ne tanosu ewa Chanti region. Paramount Distilleries and can be seen to Brakwami. Obe come from 6 feet under. But under Kufado company now we under JM no was sorry. I'm now Kasan close to 2,000 jobs, 300 direct, 1,700 direct. Tanosu Obi sorry say Okwejuma. Now you see that's why I make can't be and say for me da not because sebi ma sebi o mako fa aye bibia ye will be that, but because a juma ya no attaching real lives those lives will become the disciples for this government. About coming Mabo Kasa Preku no otufo anopa mi chiano and the reopening of the Anglo Gold Ashanti mine in Obuasi Rakwami otufo speech now or see for 4 good years this mining sebio enclave came to a halt. Now we're approaching leaders because leaders are almost a Kufuado be president and a JM you will be a now by the grace of God an amount of $881 million was brought again by Anglo Gold after Abanwe engaging in extensive negotiation. Tax waiver Anglo Gold too we have to support with a waiver of $259 million. We had to bring an agreement to parliament and do a ratification. Me bo we na won say enye by accident and Anglo go that first now under President Mahama ewunu also sorry here. And the surest way to tell whether a government needs support and confirmation and extension is to look at industries. Now sebi omu kofoma and abano asa sorry. Sebi you see that enye nipa entifa chemi maka dadie any industries nipa be ejuma. Let me just quickly touch on real lives, and I'll use 2 examples.
1,
National Ambulance Service. I always cite, they say they're going to the election. Every time I want to pick just 2 places, public places. Kabila, the total stations I already started ambulance service was 7 stations. That was in 2004 under President Kufuor. By 2016, we had a total of 132 stations. In fact, 2008 or 29, in the 8 years of the Mills Mahama government, the number of stations placed ambulance were sebi emergency person, driver, or multiple assembly from Kabila. It had increased from 29 to 132. So in 8 years, we added 103 stations. Now, between 2016 and 2017, within a period of 12 months, we moved the stations from 132 to 275. In fact, we added 145 stations within 12 months. Now, the entire examples we say you don't always look at effectiveness, say doing the right thing, but how speedily the right thing is, the efficiency. Only say until the Kufado government or my not total number of ambulances in this country are functional with National Ambulance Service. Was less than 70. Kabila. As a country, all the ambulances under National Ambulance Service. Now, and Chair Professor Zakaria, I remember his speech so well. What kind of now, Mukan is I will sign good pimples when he was giving his speech. Or see, this is the most significant jump and increase in their fleet from 65 or so ambulances to addition of 307 ambulances under the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program editorial. Now, why am I saying this? Every ambulance at least comes with about 10 jobs. Because they're only 24 hours, you recruit at least minimum 3 drivers for each station. You have to recruit an emergency practitioner. You have to also recruit Obi course. And now over 1,000 people have gone through training. Another 1,000 have gone through training. Where a Ghana for Uncle Kufuor Amba program near expansion where Amba Rakwami Anka Ebia Omutinefi. Now, Oti Pai will now talk from now a frambolas and a fawa. And yes, said you'll be the Becca Jobusa for say the one who has brought life deserves life itself in his government. Now, I just conclude with the NAPCO trainees back at me. Only said NAPCO Adiano. You can't hold in the China one shot. Why do you say figures like the There are close to 100,000 youthful individuals in this country, Kabila, who woke up in the morning and were fed by their parents who had paid their fees in the university. Now, Sebi, 800 stipend in a million, sure, yeah. I am looking at the dignity. Kabila, you know when you go to school, now you know your mind is a trained mind. Oh, your nurse who was skilled, now it's the fear. Now, my to be catch say, G20 way and not 10 way, and the most embarrassing thing you'll be on him say, your man with skills are ultimately treats Kaba. Now, so mami ho and ODD. Now, if close to 100,000 youthful people in Ghana now can wake up and go to work and get stipend once they pick up skills about Kwame, these are disciples who have a message for every Ghanaian and say, this is a government that deserves push. Never in the history of our country at a go. Now, one thing so can offer at Michiano. There's one thing about Kufado which must be admitted.
Telling
the man has compassion, because this NAPCO thing was not in our manifesto. It was not in a manifesto. In fact, it was. But yet, when we looked at the masses of youth, masses of youth, now on school, they have value. Quickly, the government went to cabinet and said, "Look, find the money." Give them the opportunity to apply their skills, and it has cost this government 1.6 billion of unbudgeted amount to fund this program, and we are committed to transitioning them from a job that is transitionary or what's the word, provisional, to one that is permanent. Now the Amikadebia say it is only compassion that will make a government pay half of your bills in the midst of a pandemic. It's not economics,
yeah.
It is compassion. Now what you need from your leader is not only capacity and competence. The two C's are not enough. For a man ought to have compassion to identify things which have not been presented before him. Yeah. As for this 2020 election, don't speak about what you will do when given the opportunity. Speak to what you did when you were there for 8 years, 4 years as the number 2, 4 years as the number 1. Ghana is too much to be used as an experiment. Experiment can be done at the district, regional, and all levels. How can we be a people that will say you tried? Let us allow you to try again. Yes, I remember Kabila movie president. No, Samba say, and can be the way to about my for 2 years. In fact, you person call now say we banner as I said the child about me. One shall go bush your bed. So we draw. Yet we find it.
Kabila Yampona.
Kwame, you better than your pong abra. One books are made ban. Liman. Hila Liman. A biography. Scholar, diplomat, statesman. President of the Republic of Ghana, 24 September 1979 to 31st December 1981, by Emeritus Professor Obinfumu Sasabonsam Ivan Ademensa. Emeritus no Kwame. Professor Kwame Nahoe book, Working with Rawlings.
Many of you.
And yeah, only now I challenge na also don't distract me. You have limited time. Challenge na.
Kwame Bonfe.
Nyame ya domo a.
Oyo bi na ya na.
Mapo na mini ya Kabila yi.
Yeah, Kwame, class prefer, even though today is one Monday. I'm sure. I'm moving with my rank and my title. Challenge na. Professor Professor Kwame Nahoe book no. Me feel say you didn't come an appropriate friend say say a fair review of the book no yentimi nya no afide so abritia yi mu
ane yen komra
na da bi mpesa me kan bibi kitwa bi na chairman general o kan book na o be bo papa na ba so o kan book no a o be hunu say me kan wie ye de but o hwe de we a wasi atro book no ene ne words, the quality of language Utmuse ampa professor of English be edimu akotene say eba out. Na oh, of course, Professor Nana Opoku. No, but I mean it's an established fact.
Now, Professor of English, no.
But this book, both in the friend say acknowledgement, any forward to this book, no, no Troy, and I may acknowledge say, Ampa Utmu say Professor of English, Kahona, a bookie about out. Now, Chairman General. Papa no aka ensembi enya dia edika wa ne krata wa tro edika nie mesanso kutawe one nana to dazi etro bookie justice
Kabila metama so
oh Kwame
Justice why
they wrote a book in memory of
Justice
D.F. Anan in the service of democracy. Na omo oka ensembi no ho me pesa me twa ne tiawa say ya why ya dear say ne life, ne lived experience as a politician and a political actor of the PNDC no watro. And some people know on my watro wo they are highly contested. Enti Osha Professor Abanademensa buki mu a obetiasie. In fact, or linke Professor Abanademensa say na 1979 ono na ise nko interview presidential aspirants.
Yeah.
But now ya or a general secretary of PNP and into ono decline here. Suggest or no Professor Kwame Nahoe that time. Kwame no kre woman say Professor Avanada Mensah was not the general secretary of the PNP in 1979. It was one Dr. Owusu Afriye who was also a lawyer. Now Professor Avanada Mensah became the general secretary of the PNP in 1980, when the party had won elections.
Fallibility of human memory, maybe.
Well, Kwame, but whatever it is, no.
Thanks for the correction.
The PNDC was an abortion from the beginning. It ought not to have happened in Ghana. PNDC was a disaster.
You mean stillbirth?
Huh? I'm telling you, sir, I'm going to waste 11 years of Ghanaian time. And on the subject of corruption alone, our no Professor Kwame Hoy Nankasa, Odi Adanse no, was say one more our friend Operation Hawk. And me uncover public sector corrupt persons be wireless, no. Or so what they call GTV cry
2.5 hour press conferences.
Why produce list no hanmo nkofo one more corrupt or see know your embezzlers and how they fed. Now I'm region by region. Now we are not coming. Instead of dealing with this, or say they decided to let go. There are only two things. Because the PNDC itself was corrupt. Of course, their coming into being was corruption. Supreme Court say 31st December 1951 was high treason. Now, Okabibi for Mr. Rollins, the truth is that he does Mr. Rollins well in this book or Presino in a number of places. But Chamanjana or Mayehunu say Mr. Rollins was a disaster of a leader.
Kabila made us say, what for CBA friend Ambrose JC, or say I am an ardent listener and a Kabila's blood nephew. Ambrose JC says, I'd like to wish Reverend Edward Osei-Boachi Adom, founder and general overseer of Cosmos International Ministry, happy birthday to you. And let me say a very good morning to Minya Bia, Marian Apasampong. Have a great weekend. And a very good morning to you, Kwabena Brako Boating of Carpet Right, and also second vice chair, Fantiakwa North of the NPP. Mr. Kwabena Brako Boating, thanks for listening. Dr. Kobai, my MP, made us a person nyami huada. And a face mask, no nose mask, maybe yeah, that's it. Would you either sanitizer or nose mask?
I mean, don't know what I say.
Oh, send me that health professional, I say. Because you're quite a beneficiary of his generosity. Peace 104.3 made Damwasi, one casa multipominam Damwasi Cassim. Okay, the boys was could be madam. Okay, box abo nutrition. Start mommy.
Box am abo nutrition. Hey. Box am abo nutrition. Hey. Yeah.
We've come to the end of the week.
Bishane saka madan so so. Me pese me miss chances.
So T. Thank you, bro.
Na performances. Ready.
Obey.
Na me so me dano.
Eso dang.
So kwa pia be share and tell send you boy chile. Dia mingado.
Yeah. Dr. Mwakwata Benwaha, good morning, Big Papa. Yes, we wish you a great weekend. Remember to keep your dreams and hopes alive. It's all you've got. Thus far, the Lord has brought us onto a Friday morning. Yaminia Dana say we've done one clear week. Next week, God willing, we'll be here. The next news broadcast is at 12. Kofi Kumbilson is next on your radio. And as you melt away into the weekend, my prayer for you is in the book of Numbers in the Bible. Numbers 6:24-26. Where it says very simply, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. It's my genuine prayer for you. And when you stop to say a prayer, say one for me too. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday morning. God bless. Good morning.